This is the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar for Sunday, January 4th, 2026. And it is also, or it was, the 15th day of Tevet. 5786, the weekly Torah portion is Shemot. And the Daf Yomi is Zevachim. Trying to remember now. 112. 112 Zevachim is the page of today. And this calendar is several calendars in one, but primarily a solar calendar and a lunar calendar, Jewish calendar, the Hebrew calendar, and the Gregorian calendar. And the words for today that equal 61 are, I pick out random words every day that are the gematriatic products of this calendar. Here are 6 or 7 words that equal the number 61. Kevin, the name Kevin equals 61. Defender, as in a protector. Defender is 61. Casino equals 61. I am rich equals 61. Richard equals 61. The Lamb as in the white, cute, harmless animal, the lamb. The Lamb. Okay. Richard, Kevin, Casino, Defender, I am rich, Richard, the Lamb. Each one of those equals 61. What do they have to do with each other? Well, some of them you can see clear connections. For example, Casino and I am rich, you can see the connection there. And I think we'll leave it at that. That's the only pretty clear connection I can see. But you might be asking, how did I get to the number 61 from this calendar? And why today? Well, that's the process of the PL-89 Gematriatic Quantum Thought Calendar and how it comes up with results in order to produce data or data mining technology to produce givens or examples, or just to stir things up to get information to come out. It's like a random information generator. You have random number generators, it's a random information generator. But the idea is, and I've seen this theory put forth, is it has different names to it. One of them I think is eternal recurrence, the theory of eternal recurrence, that there's a finite amount of things in an infinite universe or something like that. So there's going to be some kind of repetition at some point of all the things that are in combinations and permutations. Eventually there'll be some repetition, and this is trying to pick up on that in its randomness. But I don't know how much time you need and how much time it takes to find those patterns, because obviously I'm starting with very little data and going as I go. So it's just an experimental work, and we'll see where it goes. But so far, it's been interesting. And so back to the point. 61 came from 2 boxes on this calendar that represent today. Because today is the 4th day of a certain month, and it's also the 15th day of a certain month. It's the 4th day of January of the solar calendar, and that is box. The box is printed 24 on it. It's not box number 24; it's actually box number 64. But it's printed 24 on it because the numbers in the boxes are based on a certain verse in the book of Leviticus that has to do with the sabbatical year. And so it doesn't go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't go in order that way. It goes 8 plus 9 in succession. 8 plus 9, and it cuts off at 40 and then continues again. So it's a series of 8 plus 9 resetting at 40. So it goes 8, 17, 25, 34, and then 2, 11, 19, 28, 36, 5, 13. So you see it's going up until 40, but as it hits 40, it goes back to 0 again. And it goes all that way from the beginning. It comes back to its original number 8, of course, because of 40 boxes twice. So it's 40 and 40. And then that's 80 boxes altogether, which are 80 days, which is highly significant with the theme of this, which is the Redeemer or redemption. And Moses, the first Redeemer of Israel, was 80 years old when he stood before Pharaoh. See Exodus chapter 7, I believe. So this 80 boxes would contain that. But you have another 10-day twilight period here that makes it a 3-month period. So 80 plus 10 is 90. So 90 days is 3 months. And but getting back to why is it 61? Okay, so on the solar calendar it's January 4th. It will always be in box 24 because 24 it's a cardinal month, and in dispensation 3 the cardinal months are always from 38 from here up until the bottom. That's where it is. It doesn't matter what month. It doesn't matter if it's January or if it's Tevet or if it's, I was doing the Islamic calendar. It doesn't make a difference. It's just the numbers. That's what they are. So in terms of the lunar calendar on Tevet, it's the middle of the month. It's a full moon. Tevet, and the full moon is all on a cardinal month like January or Tevet, or you could say Capricorn. It doesn't matter. It's a cardinal month. In astrology, there are 3 types of months. There's cardinal, fixed, and mutable. You can look them up. It's pretty well documented on the internet. So in the dispensation 3, a cardinal month, whether it's January or Tishrei was a cardinal month. So for example, today was the 15th of Tevet. It's a full moon, but we know that back in Tishrei time, the time of the high holidays after Yom Kippur, which was the 10th day of Tishrei, 5 days after would be the 15th day of Tishrei, which is Sukkot, the first day of Sukkot, and it's a full moon. And when we were in Sukkot, and I was doing it wasn't on Sukkot, I made a day before, but the one that was done for Sukkot, we're on this box number 37. So 15th of Sukkot, 15th of Tishrei, 15th of Tevet, 15th of Nisan, which will be Passover, will also be right here. 15th of Tammuz will be right here, although this Tammuz, God willing, this calendar will be complete. In fact, it's complete. It's officially completing in ER of this year. Which means that after 14 years, almost 14 years, it's going to be 14 years this September, but 13 and a half years as of now. It was started in late August, early September, or I would call it Elul, in the Hebrew month of Elul time of the year 5772, or the year 2012. So this calendar will complete, God willing, in ER of the year 2026, 5786, or it would be like May, early May, let's say the first week of May of 2026. And that would be, it's just about 14 years old, a few months shy of 14 years old. So, but after it's done in May, there'll be an honorary, another 3 months, another one of these mercurial years, you can call them, that will go up until Tammuz, which will be the culmination and the combination of all 3 dispensations. Dispensation is a configuration, is a way of starting, a setting, if you will, when do you start the count? There's three ways that you can start the count. You can start it from a cardinal month, you can start it from a mutable month, or a fixed month. I said it in the wrong order, but cardinal, fixed, mutable. You could start it from either one of those months, and then the 3 months would go accordingly. So it could go beginning, middle, end. It can go end, beginning, middle, or it can go middle, end, beginning. It can be any one of those three configurations. Those are what I mean when I say first dispensation or third dispensation or second dispensation or any of the dispensations. Now, when it completes in ER of this year, then all the dispensations will meld, will unify into one. And that means that, okay, in the first dispensation, it was, let's go back all the way to 2012. It was a very different reality, if you all remember. Everything was quite different. This is way before Corona. This is before Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin was still just getting started, but this is like before all this stuff that we are seeing now. I mean, it was a totally different world. But that was the ground zero. And the ground zero, the configuration 1, was that the last month of any season was the first month to start it out. So this is always the starting point, but the question is, what month do you start it out at? It's a generic calendar that can include all calendars, so what month do you start it out with? It depends what dispensation you're in. So in 2012, it was the month of Elul. Elul is like, if you want to give an average time of what Elul is on the Gregorian calendar, the average is like September. It could be late August, but mostly it's in September. And in an early year, it could be like most of August and only part of September. And in the earliest of years, it could be most of August and just a little bit of September. But Elul always has a little bit of September. Like September 1st, I think, will always be in the middle of Elul, no matter what on the calendar you're on. So, but since it's mostly in September in most years, so I attribute it to September. September is a mutable month. And it started out mutable, which means it started out at the last month of a season. Because Tishrei is the cardinal, is like the first month of a season. It's of the fall season. And September is like the last month of the summer season. It's like summer season would be July, August, September. And then the fall season would be October, November, December. Winter is January, February, March, and then spring is April, May, June. But it's not always like that exactly. It might be a little bit less than that. Like fall would be like end of September to the end of October to the end of November. It could be like that. Or it could be like, it's not exactly the full month. It's not exact 30 days. It could be, September, October-ish to November. Anyway, the point is that in each configuration, it's switched starting point. And what's going to happen in May, in ER, is that it's actually going to be all three at once. That's going to be the really neat thing. So that means that when it comes to the first day of ER, it's going to be, I'm going to see here, and I'm going to see box 8, I'll see box 23, and I'll see box 38, all at the same time. And they'll all be moving simultaneously. And as that 3-month period completes, I probably will do some videos until, to complete that, which would be a full year every single day doing a video on the PL-89. Because I started on my 47th birthday, around that week. I started in, let's say, maybe a few days before, which was like the 1st of Tammuz or the 1st of July. That time, that season, which was here. And then I continued all the way, and I came back around to Rosh Hashanah, which was this year, September 23rd. Of course, all of Tishrei, but and then September 3rd, and Another week is October 1st. It's the same. It shares the same box. It doesn't matter as long as it's a cardinal month. And then it goes around again, and then now we're in this third journey of it from January up until April. Then the fourth journey will be April, May, June, and then July. So we're going to finish the third, God willing, and then the fourth, and then it's done. And that's very exciting, and it's a little bit, a little tense, a little wondering what could be. But because I've been wanting to know the secrets of this thing for a long time. I've been waiting like over 13 years for to understand what this is about, and I've maybe learned a few things, but I think there's still so much more to be learned from it. But anyway, going back to this calendar here, 61 comes from, you take the solar day, which is 24, and you add it to the lunar day. So 24 plus 37 is 61. And that's how I came up with 61, and that's how I came up with those words, which are Richard, Kevin, Defender, Casino, the Lamb, I am rich, and maybe there's one more, but I don't remember. So I can say Hebrew. Hebrew is one of them. Roman and church all equal 61. So go figure.